the Arctic tundra of Yakutia, surviving 71 degrees C is impossible without the proper clothing. And for the nomads who call this frozen expanse home, their attire is far more than a matter of comfort. It is a lifeline between life and death. From the first moment they step outside, every garment serves a purpose, designed to trap heat, block icy winds, and prevent the skin from freezing in conditions that can turn exposed flesh to frostbite within minutes. Layering is an art perfected over generations, combining traditional knowledge passed down through families with modern innovations in insulation. At the base layer, nomads wear garments made of wool, silk, or synthetic fibers that cling to the skin, trapping body heat while wicking away moisture. Even the slightest dampness can accelerate heat loss, which is deadly in such extreme temperatures, so the choice of material and fit is crucial. Over these base layers, insulating mid-layers are worn, often made from thick wool or fleece, providing additional warmth around the torso, arms, and legs. These layers create pockets of trapped air that act as natural insulation, keeping vital organs at stable temperatures while still allowing freedom of movement, which is essential for herding reindeer, chopping wood, or navigating the frozen tundra. The outer layers are the most visually striking and functionally critical. Heavy fur coats, reindeer hides, and down-filled parkas form a protective barrier against the fierce Arctic wind. Hoods are fur-lined, covering the head and face, with high collars and scarves sealing off the neck and jaw. Extremities receive special attention. Pants are layered in thick mittens, often with inner liners that wick moisture, and boots are insulated and waterproof, designed to hold thick wool socks, while preventing frostbite from contact with ice or snow. Every strap, flap, and fastener is meticulously arranged to prevent any heat from escaping, or cold from seeping in. Even small details, such as folding mittens over cuffs or tucking scarves into jackets, are practiced skills learned from a young age. The clothing is not static. Nomads continually adjust layers based on activity and weather. Moving between shelters, herding reindeer, or performing outdoor tasks requires balancing warmth with mobility, ensuring that sweat does not accumulate and reduce insulation, and that limbs remain flexible enough for survival tasks. Maintenance of clothing is also a critical part of survival. Furs must be kept dry, parkas repaired, and boots insulated regularly. A single failure in clothing could lead to dangerous exposure, so attention to detail is constant. The clothing system of these nomads is a combination of tradition, experience, and practical science, allowing them to endure temperatures that would be fatal to most humans. In this environment, every layer, every stitch, and every material is part of a carefully engineered survival strategy, demonstrating that in the Arctic tundra, clothing is not fashion, it is the most essential tool for life. Life in the Arctic tundra of Yakutia is defined by survival, and for nomads living in temperatures that can plummet to 71 degrees C. Every day is a carefully orchestrated balance of essential tasks. Their daily routines revolve around herding, hunting, and gathering water, activities that are not just part of tradition but are crucial for staying life in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Herding reindeer is the backbone of their existence. Reindeer provide meat for food, hides for clothing, and even transportation across the frozen landscape. Nomads must navigate vast stretches of tundra, often in complete whiteout conditions, guiding their herds through snow and ice while monitoring for predators or weak animals. Every step outside is calculated. The extreme cold means that exposure must be minimized, and efficiency becomes a matter of survival. Hunting is another essential task, requiring a combination of skill, patience, and intimate knowledge of the environment. The frozen tundra offers limited resources, so hunters must track animals over icy plains, reading subtle signs in the snow and ice that indicate movement or shelter. The cold presents additional challenges. Firearms, traps, and other equipment must be handled carefully to prevent freezing or malfunction. Even the simplest tasks, such as skinning animals or preparing meat, are complicated by sub-zero temperatures, as the flesh can freeze almost immediately, making precision work difficult. Hunting is not only about food. It is also about sustaining clothing and tools, as animal hides are essential for insulation against the deadly cold. Water. Water, a resource taken for granted elsewhere, becomes a carefully managed necessity in the Arctic. Streams and rivers are frozen solid, so nomads must melt snow or ice to obtain drinking water. This is a slow and precise process. Even small amounts of melted water can freeze quickly if exposed to the air. Care must be taken to insulate containers and prevent spillage, as wet clothing or hands can lead to rapid heat loss. Nomads often heat water over small fires, balancing the need to conserve fuel with the necessity of maintaining hydration and preparing food. Every outdoor task, whether herding, hunting, or gathering water, is performed with awareness of energy conservation. Physical exertion generates heat, but also leads to sweating, which in the extreme cold can quickly chill the body once activity stops. Nomads have learned to pace themselves, to layer clothing strategically, and to move deliberately, ensuring that they can complete essential tasks without risking frostbite or hypothermia. Even small errors in judgment, such as overestimating body heat or underestimating wind chill, can have serious consequences. The daily life of these nomads is also a lesson in observation and adaptation. They must constantly read the environment, from snow conditions to wind patterns, and make decisions that affect the safety of themselves, their families, and their herds. Over generations, these skills have been honed into an almost instinctive understanding of the tundra's dangers. Life at 71 degrees C is not just physically demanding, it is mentally intensive, requiring constant vigilance and the ability to anticipate challenges before they arise. Every herding route, every hunting trip, and every trip to melt water becomes an exercise in survival, illustrating the extraordinary resilience, skill, and knowledge that nomads must possess to live in one of the coldest places on Earth. In the Arctic tundra of Yakutia, shelters and fire are not luxuries. They are lifelines that determine whether a family survives the brutal cold. At temperatures that can drop to 71 degrees C, even brief exposure to the wind can be deadly, making the design and maintenance of shelters a matter of life and death. Nomadic homes are often semi-underground, partially buried in snow or frost-packed soil, to provide natural insulation against the Arctic wind. The walls are reinforced with layers of animal skins, furs, and sometimes modern insulating materials, creating a barrier that retains warmth and blocks freezing gusts. The entrances are carefully designed, often with double doors or small airlocks, to prevent heat from escaping every time someone enters or exits. Inside, the space is compact but organized for maximum efficiency, with areas designated for cooking, sleeping, and storing supplies. Every corner of the shelter is optimized to retain heat, reflecting generations of experience living in extreme cold. Fire is the heart of these shelters, providing warmth, a means to cook food, and even psychological comfort in a harsh and unforgiving environment. Maintaining a fire in 71 degrees C is an art in itself. Fuel is precious, and the intense cold can make even well-prepared wood difficult to ignite. Nomads have developed techniques to start and sustain fires efficiently, using small controlled flames that maximize heat output while minimizing fuel consumption. The placement of the fire within the shelter is strategic. It warms the central area where people gather, while also radiating heat to sleeping spaces and cooking areas. Smoke management is also critical. Vents and chimneys are carefully designed to ensure proper airflow while retaining warmth inside the shelter. The shelters are not static. They require constant maintenance. Snow and ice can accumulate against walls and roofs, adding weight and sometimes compromising insulation. Horse and hides used in construction must be kept dry to maintain their insulating properties, and floors may be layered with extra skins to provide warmth underfoot. Nomads continuously monitor the condition of their homes, making repairs as needed to prevent any breach in protection that could result in dangerous heat loss. Beyond physical survival, shelters and fire serve as centers of community and culture. Families gather around the fire, sharing meals, stories, and traditions that have been passed down through generations. These moments are vital for morale, providing a sense of normalcy and comfort in an otherwise extreme environment. The shelter becomes a place where knowledge about survival, animal husbandry, hunting, and environmental cues is taught, especially to younger members of the family. Even with modern technology, the principles remain the same. Insulation, warmth, and protection from wind are paramount. Every design choice, from the placement of furs to the structure of the roof, reflects an intimate understanding of how the human body responds to extreme cold. In the Arctic tundra of Yakutia, the ability to construct, maintain, and manage a shelter with a sustainable fire is not merely practical, it is a matter of survival, demonstrating the ingenuity, resilience, and adaptability of nomadic life in one of the harshest climates on Earth. These shelters are more than homes. They are carefully engineered lifeboats in a frozen sea. In the Arctic tundra of Yakutia, survival is never a solitary endeavor, and community and cooperation are the invisible threads that hold nomadic life together. In a landscape where temperatures can drop to 71 degrees C, where blizzards can strike without warning, and the frozen ground offers little comfort, no individual can thrive alone. Families, extended relatives, and neighbors work together constantly, sharing responsibilities and knowledge to ensure that everyone can withstand the extreme cold. From the moment a child is born, they are integrated into this system of mutual reliance, learning that survival depends not only on personal skill, but on the collective efforts of the community. Daily routines are structured around cooperation. Herding reindeer, a cornerstone of nomadic life, is rarely an individual task. Families travel together across the tundra, guiding their animals through harsh terrain, protecting them from predators, and monitoring their health. Older children assist younger ones, teaching them routes, animal behavior, and essential safety precautions. Hunting and gathering, equally crucial for food and resources, are performed in teams. Individuals communicate through signals, watch each other's backs, and share the spoils of their labor to ensure that everyone has enough to eat. Water collection, often requiring melting snow or ice, is also a coordinated effort, as it is time-consuming and physically demanding in sub-zero temperatures. Shelters and fire, the lifelines of survival, also reinforce the importance of cooperation. Maintaining warmth in semi-underground homes requires shared responsibility. Someone must manage the fire continuously, ensuring it does not go out, while others repair insulation or organize sleeping areas. Food preparation is a communal activity, with meals cooked over the fire and distributed equitably. This shared effort not only increases efficiency, but also provides emotional and psychological support, creating a sense of safety in an environment that is otherwise threatening and isolating. Knowledge transfer is another key aspect of community life. Older generations mentor the younger ones, teaching practical survival skills, animal husbandry, hunting techniques, and environmental awareness. Children learn to read the snow, understand wind patterns, and predict weather events, all critical for safety in a place where a sudden blizzard can be fatal. Storytelling and observation become tools for education, and the communal sharing of experience ensures that no one faces the tundra without the wisdom needed to survive. Community also provides resilience against unforeseen emergencies. In the Arctic, a single misstep, like getting lost while herding reindeer or misjudging ice thickness, can be deadly. Groups watch out for one another, respond quickly to distress, and provide assistance when needed. This sense of interdependence is deeply ingrained and fosters trust, discipline, and teamwork from an early age. Life in the tundra demonstrates that survival is more than individual endurance. It is a product of cooperation, trust, and shared responsibility. By working together, nomadic families not only endure the harshest temperatures on Earth but thrive, maintaining culture, tradition, and a sustainable way of life. In Yakutia, the Arctic is unforgiving, but community transforms danger into a manageable challenge, turning collective effort into a vital tool for life itself. Life in the Arctic tundra of Yakutia is not only physically demanding, but also an extraordinary test of mental resilience and adaptability. Surviving temperatures as low as 71 degrees C requires constant awareness, strategic thinking, and the ability to respond quickly to changing conditions. For the nomads living in this frozen wilderness, survival is as much a psychological challenge as it is a physical one. From a young age, children are taught to respect the environment and understand the risks it poses. They learn that every decision, no matter how small, can have significant consequences, whether it is how long to stay outdoors, how to layer clothing, or when to tend to the fire in their shelter. This awareness cultivates a sense of responsibility, discipline, and self-reliance that becomes deeply ingrained over time. Mental resilience in the tundra begins with routine. Daily tasks such as herding reindeer, gathering water, hunting, or preparing food must be completed with precision and care. The extreme cold amplifies the consequences of mistakes, so nomads develop patience and meticulous attention to detail. They understand that rushing can lead to accidents, frostbites, or exhaustion, and they train themselves to remain calm and deliberate, even under stressful circumstances. This mindset extends beyond individual actions to group decisions, as families and communities coordinate activities, watch out for one another, and adapt collectively to unforeseen challenges such as sudden storms or mechanical failures in equipment. Adaptability is equally essential. The Arctic tundra is unpredictable. Blizzards can arise in minutes, ice conditions can change overnight, and animal behavior can shift with the weather. Nomads learn to read subtle environmental cues, the texture of snow, the direction of the wind, or the position of the sun, to make informed decisions about travel, hunting, and safety. These skills, developed over generations, become almost instinctive, allowing individuals to anticipate problems and act proactively rather than reactively. The ability to adapt is also mental, requiring flexibility in thought and emotional endurance. In a place where isolation is common and daylight can disappear for weeks during polar nights, maintaining morale, focus, and a positive outlook is crucial. Community support reinforces mental resilience. Living in the tundra teaches that survival is not a solitary endeavor. Families work together, sharing knowledge, responsibilities, and encouragement. Younger members learn from elders not only practical survival skills, but also strategies for managing fear, fatigue, and uncertainty. This shared wisdom fosters confidence, trust, and a sense of security, even in one of the harshest climates on Earth. Ultimately, life in the Arctic tundra demonstrates that mental toughness is as vital as physical endurance. Nomads cultivate patience, discipline, situational awareness, and adaptability in order to navigate a world that is unforgiving, unpredictable, and extreme. These qualities allow them to make thoughtful decisions, maintain safety, and thrive despite conditions that would overwhelm most people. Survival at 71 degrees C is not just about insulation and fire. It is about developing the psychological strength to face the cold with intelligence, foresight, and resilience. In Yakutia, the Arctic shapes not only the body but the mind, creating a community of individuals who are as mentally strong as they are physically capable, proving that human adaptability knows no bounds.